the husband's perspective, like, hey, obviously, like, this guy's gay, no hard feelings, a sight to be seen. He wants to be completely dismissed from the lawsuit. He wants out on the lawsuit.
Let's just start with this. Ryan Reynolds has officially been exposed, and it's by the one person no one ever expected.
Here he is in a more clear picture of him kissing Andrew Garfield for the same reasons. Happening. It's still happening. It's still going on.
For years, Hugh Jackman was his partner in crime. The perfect bromance. The cheeky interviews, flirty jabs, meme-worthy roasts. It was all part of the act, but now that act is over.
They've leaked all these text messages.
And bestie, Hugh just flipped the entire script. Sources say Hugh has turned on Ryan in the most savage way possible, handing over private texts, legal receipts, and behind-the-scenes dirt that paint a very different picture of Hollywood's favorite funny guy. No PR spin, no more inside jokes. Just cold, career-shattering facts being dropped like bombs. And Ryan, he didn't just lose a friend. He lost his final shield from the truth.
Are these two headed for divorce?
Let's get into it, because this isn't vague. This is receipts on receipts, and it's brutal. According to leaked reports, Hugh Jackman provided legal teams with full message logs that show Ryan wasn't just playing a character on screen, he was playing one in real life. These texts allegedly show Ryan talking about how to manage public perception, planning satirical attacks on people like Justin Baldoni, and even mocking fans who believed in his wholesome image. They hint that Ryan used Hugh knowingly, as a prop to build his cool guy with edgy bromance energy brand. And Hugh, he's done being a prop, because when those messages dropped, Ryan's clean-cut family man image went from iconic to downright artificial.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
Now this part, yeah, it's going viral. For years, Ryan has leaned into this quirky, hyper-witty bromance with Hugh that blurred the line between cute and performative, always playing up the gay jokes, the flirty skits, all while selling himself as the loving dad and dream husband. It seemed harmless, funny, even progressive. But now, Hugh's pulling the curtain back, and it's not a good look. Sources say Hugh admitted behind closed doors that the flirtation wasn't mutual. It was calculated by Ryan for attention. Every eyebrow raise, every my guy, tweet, every not-so-subtle innuendo, all part of a carefully planned media strategy. And here's where it gets darker. Hugh allegedly told friends he felt uncomfortable, but stayed quiet to protect the brand, because he didn't want to be the one who broke the illusion, until now.
Hugh Jackman was also in the now infamously cringe It Ends With Us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
So now we need to ask, what exactly has Ryan been hiding all this time? Because if Hugh Jackman, the ride or die, the Hollywood brother, feels like he was used, imagine what else is going on. Fans are already dissecting every red carpet moment, every overly scripted interview with Blake Lively, and every Deadpool promo that felt too cute to be real. Some are calling their marriage a PR alliance, built to mutually protect their images and avoid deeper questions. And now, with Hugh allegedly cooperating with lawyers and Candace Owens' camp, the internet is starting to think Ryan's entire identity might be an illusion. One source close to the legal case even said, Ryan's terrified, not of the lawsuit, but of who he becomes when the mask finally falls. And when your entire brand is built on being relatable, that's your worst nightmare.
Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal. And obviously, this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face.
Let's not pretend Ryan's taking this quietly. He's not. Insiders say he's been completely unhinged behind the scenes, blaming Hugh for ruining everything, threatening legal action, and demanding loyalty from mutual friends. But Hugh? He's not budging. He's not playing the PR game anymore. He's out of the franchise, out of the friendship, and ready to tell the truth no matter who it burns. And that's what makes this so dangerous, because Hugh Jackman isn't doing this for fame. He's not seeking attention. He's already done with Hollywood, which means he has nothing to lose. And Ryan, he's watching the entire foundation of his identity collapse, one leaked message at a time.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids. And he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources, like financial resources, to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal.
Let's get something straight. Or maybe not, because in this story, nothing is what it seems. The relationship between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds was always treated like a cheeky, fan-pleasing friendship. Two Hollywood powerhouses teasing each other for fun, hugging on red carpets, kissing in skits, and posting viral bromantic selfies. But now that everything's imploding, people are finally asking, what was real and what was rehearsed? According to leaked texts and insider reports, Hugh Jackman wasn't playing along because he loved it. He played along because the persona worked for both of them. Ryan got to look edgy and progressive, and Hugh got to stay out of the tabloid mess. But after years of being part of this carefully crafted illusion, Hugh snapped. And when he walked away, he took the script and the secrets with him.
He's kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that. Not the gay community, or the heterosexual community.
Here's where it gets complicated. Ryan Reynolds has been leaning into flirtatious skits, same-sex kisses, and suggestive PR moments for over a decade. From kissing Andrew Garfield at awards shows to his accidental pecs on Canadian actors. Like Scott Thompson, it's become a recurring pattern. Fans used to laugh it off. It's just Deadpool being Deadpool. It's Ryan being quirky. But now, legal filings and statements from Candace Owens suggest this wasn't just edgy. Humor. It was a strategy. Owens calls it a deliberate brand tactic. Ryan created a persona that teased fluidity without ever confirming it, which allowed him to appear relatable, charming, and progressive, while still playing the safe Hollywood husband role. And according to Owens, this tactic had two specific purposes: keep the public guessing and therefore watching, use sexual ambiguity to deflect from real scrutiny, because as long as people were focused on whether Ryan was just joking or secretly bi, they weren't looking deeper at his behavior, his control over projects, or his alleged role in the sabotage of Justin Baldoni.
He leaked all these text messages.
One of the most viral moments in this entire mess came from Owens herself. She pointed out that gay men, open, confident, fully themselves, carry what she described as a twinkle in their eyes, a lightness, a freedom. And she said point blank, Ryan doesn't have it. His eyes are dead because he's hiding something. Now, that's a brutal take, but it's not just about attitude. Owens is arguing that Ryan Reynolds has built an entire empire by denying who he truly is, and in doing so, has hurt not just himself, but the people around him. By playing with identity like it's a costume, he allegedly reinforces harmful stereotypes, confuses genuine visibility with marketing, and manipulates fans into seeing performance as authenticity. In other words, Owens is saying, this wasn't self-expression, this was sales.
Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that.
Meanwhile, let's not pretend Hugh Jackman was immune to the spotlight. The second rumors about Hugh's personal life started swirling, especially after his sudden divorce. His PR team moved quickly. They pushed headlines about a supposed romance with Broadway co-star Sutton Foster, released curated Instagram content, and shifted attention away from the Ryan connection. Why? Because Hugh's clean-cut image was built on privacy, tradition, and straight-laced stability. But now that he's out of the Reynolds circle, he's no longer willing to play along. Sources say that part of the reason Hugh turned on Ryan was resentment. Years of being dragged into innuendo-filled jokes, of playing the straight man to Ryan's wink-wink persona. Now, Hugh's done protecting the brand, and the fallout is public.
Gay guys are great. I love gay guys. There's also bad ones because they're just normal people. I have zero problem. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is.
Let's talk about what this means for Blake Lively, because she's not a side character in this story. With Hugh and Ryan's carefully polished public personas cracking open, the spotlight is turning toward Ryan's marriage, and suddenly, it's not looking so solid either. Critics are pointing out how Blake's entire brand, chic mom, fun wife, clever social media queen, is tied to Ryan's image. If that falls apart, so does hers. Insiders claim her team is now working around the clock to contain the damage, trying to distance her from the rumors, spinning new headlines, and scrubbing past interviews for anything that could be reinterpreted as performative. But people are talking. And worse, they're connecting the dots. if Ryan's flirtation with identity was just PR, if Hugh played along out of obligation, and if Blake knowingly stood by and protected the illusion, then we're not looking at a scandal anymore. We're looking at a Hollywood-level deception, orchestrated across platforms, studios, and relationships, and it's unraveling fast.
You just wonder if that's also partially the reason why Blake's team is adamant that they need this AEO determination, right? They want the judge to agree to an attorney's eyes only designation to protect, as they term it, highly confidential information that could destroy the careers of the third-party people that are involved.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The ongoing spectacle of Ryan Reynolds' obsession with implying he might be gay, but never actually saying it. From kisses on stage to flirt-heavy bits on talk shows, to scenes he rewrites, into his movies, the same undertone keeps surfacing. And at first, it was quirky, maybe even progressive. But now, people are questioning the intention behind it all. According to Candace Owens, and now a growing chorus of fans and insiders, Ryan isn't being playful. He's being calculated. Owens accuses Ryan of weaponizing ambiguity. Instead of being honest about his identity or steering clear of the narrative, he hovers in the middle, capitalizing off curiosity while keeping everything just vague enough to stay marketable. And it's not just harmless, because according to a recent TikTok deep dive, even the language in Ryan's leaked messages reflects a weird emotional distance from himself, like he's performing who he thinks he should be, not who he is. Straight men don't text like this, the TikToker claimed. He's either hiding something to or pretending to. And when fans start saying the jokes feel more like deflection than comedy, that's not just backlash, that's a branded crisis.
And they're going like, we need this AEO designation because their careers would be ruined if the public found something out about them. It just makes you ask what truth could be so poisonous to someone's career that if revealed, it would be over.
Ryan's defenders say it's all just a bit. The gay jokes, the bromance energy, the viral kisses. But here's the thing, when the bit becomes your entire identity, it's no longer a joke. Candace Owens calls it out directly. She says, Ryan isn't just using comedy, he's using satire as a shield to avoid accountability. By keeping his public image funny, edgy, and chaotic, he deflects from the real power moves happening off camera. While fans are laughing at Deadpool's flirty lines, Ryan is allegedly bullying co-stars, rewriting scripts, and manipulating productions behind closed doors. He's hiding serious behavior behind the smokescreen of satire. And now, the smoke's clearing.
You invest in these people because you think they're telling you the truth, and you would just be shocked by that. So I'll tell you, Judge Lehman has reached a decision about that designation. Now, just to briefly remind you what they wanted.
The biggest red flag in all of this? Ryan's alleged behavior on the set of It Ends With Us. Multiple sources claim he strong-armed the production, threatening to walk away unless his demands were met. He reportedly rewrote entire scenes, inserted himself creatively into areas he wasn't assigned to, and even demanded changes that completely shifted the tone of the film. And let's not forget the alleged removal of Justin Baldoni. Ryan didn't just clash with Justin, he allegedly humiliated him publicly, on set, on camera. Even in skits and sarcastic interviews, Ryan constantly made Baldoni the punchline, so much so that Candace Owens listed it as part of a pattern of abusive behavior. This wasn't a feud. This was a slow, calculated erasure. A source even said, Ryan showed up like a guest and acted like a studio head. And in Hollywood, that kind of control is dangerous, especially when it's paired with a fake smile and a rehearsed charm.
No one else can see it but the attorneys. And we don't need to go to the judges' chambers to duke that out with it's like if we say it is, you just got to go with us. Essentially, they become their own judges. And obviously, Justin Baldoni's team said, no, we don't want that. We just want this to be like a limited scope, confidential.
Owens goes further. She says Ryan's behavior isn't isolated. It's a pattern, using his power and influence to reshape films, override directors, rewrite characters, and pressure production teams has allegedly become a habit. And this habit? It's been protected for years by the illusion that Ryan is just a funny guy. But now, legal teams are seeing the reality. He's been using humor as camouflage for manipulation. They've accused him of defamation, extortion, intentional interference. With contracts, false light publicity, these aren't soft accusations. They're industry killers. And if proven true, Ryan isn't just problematic, He's toxic.
According to Hugh Jackman, in case you were unaware, he recently divorced his wife of 27 years. Her name is Deborah Lee Furness. 27 years is a very long time to be married.
The most disturbing part of all of this might not even be the lawsuits. It's the realization that Ryan Reynolds doesn't seem to know who he actually is anymore. The public persona is cracking. The jokes aren't landing. The Deadpool charm is now being viewed as arrogance, and the flirty, chaotic energy is being seen as anxiety dressed up as branding. Leaked texts suggest Ryan doesn't just joke this way in public, he lives the bit. He uses character voices, writes his own dialogue for interviews, and builds his entire public presence like a movie script. One TikToker put it bluntly, Ryan's not in character. Ryan is the character. And that's the scariest part. Because once you forget where the performance ends and the person begins, the mask stops protecting you and starts swallowing you.
They announced their separation to the public in September of 2023. Now, just to plot that on a timeline for you, that was in the midst of the principal filming for Deadpool and Wolverine, which got abruptly paused in that September due to the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Private messages are just words until they confirm the story everyone already suspected. The leaked texts from Ryan Reynolds have become a tipping point. These weren't just casual messages. These were deeply revealing glimpses into a man who has spent years constructing a mask. In public, Ryan is charming, witty, the golden boy with a perfect family and a sharp tongue. But in private, the language shifts. The tone is off. The humor feels like deflection. Analysts, including Candace Owens, say these texts reflect a person struggling to maintain a persona that no longer fits, a man grappling with questions he won't let himself answer, a man trying to speak like someone he's pretending to be. There's a pattern in the way he downplays vulnerability, avoids real emotional clarity, and constantly inserts sarcasm as a shield. And it's not harmless, it's performative. And when a public figure's performance starts bleeding into real life, that's when it becomes dangerous.
Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated for a host of reasons, some fair, some not. Some people just never really bought into him at the peak of his career, having married a woman that was 13 years his senior.
As always, Candace Owens cuts through the Hollywood PR fog like a scalpel. She analyzed Ryan's messages not for gossip, but for emotional subtext. She pointed out how Ryan's tone, humor, and phrases echoed what she calls classic signs of closet-driven self-denial. Not because she's making assumptions, but because the patterns line up. The self-deprecating jokes, the obsessive control over image, the way he talks about women, and the dismissive tone toward intimacy, all of it feeds into a much larger narrative. Owens wasn't trying to out anyone. She was pointing out the emotional weight of a man who's been living two lives for too long. And it's not the secrecy that's destructive. It's the fact that it's been weaponized as charm. Ryan's entire brand has been sold to the world as real, funny, relatable. But the reality, it was curated. And now it's collapsing.
No. This guy is using her as a beard, which is a term that people use when you're in like one of these cover marriages. And like I told you, that accusation, it can be real in a lot of circumstances. It goes on a lot in Hollywood.
And now we come to the biggest unraveling of all, the Reynolds lively marriage. For years, they were seen as the model couple, playful, sarcastic, deeply in love. But behind the Instagram captions and viral roast battles, something has been broken. For a while, sources close to the couple now confirm what's been whispered for months. They're living apart. This isn't just about the lawsuit. It's about years of tension that finally boiled over once the facade could no longer hold. Blake Lively is reportedly traumatized by the legal battle. Friends say she's emotionally withdrawn, anxious, and no longer able to keep up the image. Of the quirky wife who can roll with any punchline, the toll isn't just emotional. It's personal. Their children, caught in the public chaos, are reportedly struggling with the spotlight, and the once picture-perfect family is now being dissected by media, fans, and lawyers alike. And when Blake and Ryan made that rare joint appearance at SNL's 50th anniversary, they looked united, but anyone paying attention saw the body language. Cold, distant, tense. The spark was gone, and the performance was cracked.
Anyway, so back to Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. They're in this bromance at the time of the separation of his wife, and you just wonder if that's also partially the reason why Blake's team is adamant that they need this AEO determination.
And here's the part that really seals it. Ryan has always relied on public love. He's not just an actor, he's a brand. Aviation Gin, Wrexham FC, Mint Mobile. But now, the silence is deafening. No public statements, no Instagram distractions, no witty clapbacks. Because every word could be used against him in court. And worse, it might confirm what people are already thinking. Even his inner circle has gone quiet. Celebs who used to joke with him on Twitter have stopped tagging him. His once loyal fan base is slowly shifting into skepticism. And with every leak, every legal update, every whisper from the inside, his image becomes harder to defend. This isn't just a scandal. This is a brand collapse in real time.
In that production was the fact that Hugh Jackman opted to kiss his male co-star throughout this production, even though in the original screenplay, there was no kiss between the male stars.
The deeper this goes, the more obvious it becomes. Ryan Reynolds isn't losing control. He never had it. His charm, his sarcasm, his entire Hollywood persona was built on controlled chaos. The guy who could say anything, joke about anything, be outrageous, while still being adored. But now that people are looking deeper, they're not seeing a man who's free. They're seeing a man who's exhausted from pretending. The funny guy has become quiet. The perfect marriage has fractured. The relatable king has vanished. What's left? A man, alone with the consequences of his performance. And the scariest part? He might not even know who he really is anymore. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you'll be the first to get notified about the latest drama.